Faith in Silent Hill 3 isn't comforting, it's suffocating. And the more the game talks about salvation, the more it starts to feel like something much darker is hiding underneath it. Because this isn't just a game about monsters, or fog, or the usual kind of horror. Silent Hill 3 builds its fear around something far more uncomfortable: belief itself. Not as something that protects you, but as something that quietly takes control. At first it doesn't seem that way. It looks familiar: dark environments, grotesque enemies, the kind of tension you expect from a survival horror game. But the deeper you go, the more that familiarity starts to break down. The town doesn't just feel haunted, it feels guided, as if something is shaping what you see, what you hear, what you're meant to believe. And that's where Silent Hill 3 becomes unsettling in a way most horror games just don't. Because it isn't trying to just scare you, it's showing you what happens when belief stops being a choice, when it becomes something enforced, something inherited, something you're not expected to accept without question. And once that idea starts to take hold, everything else in the game starts to feel different. The monsters, the environments, even the story itself. Because underneath all of it, Silent Hill 3 isn't just asking you to survive its world, it's asking what happens when the world decides what you should believe in the first place. And the force behind all of this isn't the monsters, it's the church. In Silent Hill 3, the cult isn't something you uncover through exposition or neatly explained lore. It's something you begin to feel long before you fully understand it. It doesn't wait to introduce itself, it doesn't announce its presence. Instead, it lingers in the background of every space you move through, quietly asserting itself through repetition, symbolism, and atmosphere. At first, it's easy to dismiss, just another element of the setting, another piece of horror design. But the longer you stay, the harder it becomes to ignore the sense that something is shaping this world with intention. Because nothing in Silent Hill 3 feels accidental. The hallways don't just twist, they guide. The rooms don't just exist, they imply purpose. The symbols that appear again and again aren't decorative, they are insistent. They demand recognition, and even when you fully don't understand what they mean, you begin to feel what they represent: structure, control, and something disturbingly close to authority. The kind of authority that doesn't ask to be followed, it expects it. That's where the unease begins to shift. Because the church in Silent Hill 3 isn't just present in isolated locations or key story moments, it is embedded into the fabric of the town itself. It exists in the architecture, in the patterns, in the way spaces seem to close in on themselves. There's a rhythm to it, a repetition that feels deliberate, as if the world is being reinforced over and over again until it becomes impossible to see anything outside of it. And once that idea settles in, everything else starts to feel different. The monsters stop feeling random, their forms distorted, restrained, exaggerated, begin to feel less like chaos and more like expressions, not of fear alone, but of something imposed, something internalized. They move like manifestations of pressure, like the physical result of something psychological being pushed too far. And the more you look at them, the harder it becomes to separate them from the belief system that surrounds them. Because Silent Hill 3 doesn't just present horror as something external, it suggests that horror can be constructed, designed, reinforced, not just through force, but through repetition, expectation, and control. The church doesn't simply exist within the world, it defines it. It sets the boundaries of what is seen, what is felt, and more importantly, what is accepted. And in a world like that, fear isn't just about what's chasing you, it's about what's shaping everything around you, because what Silent Hill 3 really explores is what happens when belief stops being voluntary. There's a difference between choosing what you believe and inheriting it without question, and Silent Hill 3 lives entirely in that space between the two, where belief is no longer something you arrive at, but something you're expected to accept, something that exists before you do, something that waits for you, already formed, already structured, already demanding. And the game doesn't explain this outright. It lets you feel it through repetition, through environment, through the constant suggestion that something is already decided for you. The rituals, the altars, the symbols, they don't just exist as pieces of world building, they function as reminders. That belief in this world is not open-ended, it is defined, directed, and most importantly, enforced. That's what makes it uncomfortable, because the horror here isn't just about being in danger, it's about being shaped, quietly, persistently, and often without realizing it. The spaces you move through begin to feel less like locations and more like frameworks, structures built not just to contain you physically, but to influence how you interpret everything around you. And that influence doesn't just stop at the environment, it extends inward. Heather's experience isn't just about surviving what she encounters, it's about maintaining a sense of self within a world that constantly pushes against it. Every distorted space, every shifting hallway, every grotesque figure she faces carries with it the suggestion something is trying to redefine her understanding of what her belief of reality is. It does not do this through direct confrontation, but through pressure, through immersion, through the slow erosion of certainty. Because when belief stops being a choice, it doesn't replace your thoughts, it reshapes them. And that's where Silent Hill 3 becomes something more than horror. It becomes a reflection of how easily perception can be influenced when the world around you is built to support a single idea, when every symbol reinforces it, when every space echoes it, when every encounter, no matter how small, pushes you back towards it. The fear here isn't just that something is wrong, it's that everything feels consistently wrong in the very same way, and that consistency starts to feel intentional. Silent Hill 3 doesn't just explore belief, it explores what happens when that belief is accepted without resistance, not all at once, but gradually, subtly, through repetition and exposure. Through the quiet normalization of something that at first feels unsettling, and then slowly begins to feel expected. That's the real danger this game presents. Not immediate transformation, but gradual surrender. Because the church's influence isn't loud, it doesn't need to be. It exists in the background, reinforcing itself through consistency, through presence, through the absence of alternatives. And over time, the absence begins to matter. When there is no clear outside perspective, no grounding point, no moment of clarity, the idea that something is wrong begins to become harder to hold on to. And that's where submission begins. Not as a decision, but as a drift. The monsters, the environments, the repetition of symbols, they all contribute to this feeling that resistance is temporary, that eventually something will give, not the world, but the person within it. The one trying to make sense of it, the one trying to hold on to their own understanding of things. And Silent Hill 3 never lets that tension fully resolve. Even as Heather pushes forward towards the ending of the game, even as she resists, the world and the cult will continue to press back. It doesn't collapse. It doesn't break. It adapts. It persists. It reinforces itself in new ways, reminding both her and the player that this isn't something that can be simply escaped. It's something that has to be confronted internally. Because the real cost isn't physical, it's psychological. It's the slow erosion of certainty, the quiet replacement of independent thought with something predefined, the subtle shift from questioning to accepting. Not because it makes sense, but because it's everywhere, and in that kind of environment, even awareness isn't always enough, because knowing something is wrong doesn't always mean you can resist it. Silent Hill 3 doesn't linger because of its monsters, it lingers because of what it's trying to say. That horror doesn't always come from something chasing you, but from something shaping you. Not through fear alone, but through repetition, through structure, through the slow narrowing of what you're allowed to believe. Because in Silent Hill 3, belief isn't something you choose, it's something that's built around you, until it starts to feel like it was always yours to begin with. And that's the real question Silent Hill 3 leaves you with. Not how you survive it, but whether you can still think for yourself inside it.
Oh, track of my love.